Sean Strickland vs. Dricus Du Plessis is official for January at UFC 297. So this whole Khamzat Chimaev bullshit is over, thankfully. I heard Khamzat broke his hand and that's why he's not the one fighting for the title, but there's no way they were going to give him the title shot after not beating a single ranked middleweight, and he's only number 9 in the rankings. I personally think he should fight Jared Cannonier, and then the winner of that fight should get the next title shot. But Dricus definitely deserves it more than anyone. He beat Darren Till, Derek Brunson, and finished Robert Whittaker. He finished Robert Whittaker for the first time since like 2018, and was the first guy besides Adesanya to beat Whittaker since he fought Stephen Thompson almost 10 years ago. And it's a very interesting and competitive fight, one that's very hard to predict. Where on the feet, Sean definitely has the advantage. He's just overall better. Dricus can get kind of wild with his punches, and Sean is very defensively sound. One of the best defensive boxers in the UFC, and just one of the best boxers in general. He can slip and parry punches at an extremely high level. He's very hard to hit clean. Where he struggles on the feet defensively is with his kicking defense, as we saw in the Abus Magomedov fight. The first round, Abus won off the leg kicks, and they're doing a lot of damage. But in the Israel Adesanya fight, his kicking defense looked a lot better. He was checking a lot of the leg kicks, blocking and avoiding a lot of the head kicks, and Dricus doesn't have very good kicks. So on the feet, Sean should have the advantage. He does struggle against power punchers like Alex Pereira and Jared Cannonier, and Dricus has a lot of power. I mean, this guy knocked out Robert Whittaker with a jab, a southpaw jab, and then finished him on the ground. TKO'd Robert Whittaker. But at the same time, Dricus is much less technical with his strikes than Jared Cannonier and Alex Pereira are, so Sean's going to have an easier time defending the power punches. And then from there, he can counter Dricus with the right hand, or he could set up off his jab. And then with that jab and forward pressure, Sean can put a pace on Dricus and try and gas him out. Dricus's cardio has looked better in his last few fights, but it still doesn't look amazing, and he's never gone 5 rounds. We don't know if he can go 5 rounds. I would lean more towards he can't go 5 rounds, but we just don't know him. We know Sean can go 10 rounds. Sean has some of the best cardio in the UFC. The pace he puts on his opponents behind his jab with the pressure could absolutely gas out Dricus. And then because of the openings Dricus leaves on the feet, and those openings are going to only increase as Dricus gets tired, Sean could capitalize and knock him out. Does Sean have power now? Like before the Abus Magomedov fight, he wasn't knocking anyone out, but he knocked out Abus Magomedov and knocked down Israel Adesanya, almost finished Israel Adesanya. So is Sean a power puncher now? I don't know, but I don't know if he has the power to really punish Dricus for the holes he leaves defensively, but I could definitely see Sean TKOing Dricus in the later rounds, as Sean is looking to take this fight into the later rounds, as that's where he has the advantage. Whereas the early rounds, Dricus is going to have the advantage. Dricus also has the wrestling and the grappling advantage. Sean has decent takedown defense. He was taken down by Abus Magomedov, which isn't necessarily a bad look, but Dricus was able to take down Robert Whittaker, who has some of the best takedown defense in UFC history. So if Sean's getting taken down by Abus Magomedov and Dricus is able to take down Robert Whittaker, there's no chance Dricus isn't able to take down Sean, and that's going to be a big part of his game plan. Mask his entries with the boxing behind his jab, shoot in double legs, get into the clinch, trip or throw Sean in the clinch, and then look for submissions. Dricus has some of the best grappling in the middleweight division. Not only are his submissions very good, he has one of the best guillotines I've ever seen, a very good rear naked choke, but he's also very good at transitioning between different positions, passing guard, getting his opponents back. He's just overall a very good grappler, but Sean does have very good defensive grappling. He showed it in the Abus Magomedov fight, but he did give up his back, which isn't a great look, but he did defend off his back pretty well. But is his grappling and submission defense good enough to last to the later rounds? Because once this fight gets to the later rounds, Dricus is going to have a hard time taking Sean down. Dricus's shots are going to get increasingly sloppy. Sean's going to have an easier time seeing them and defending them, and then capitalizing on those openings by landing his punches. But if Dricus is able to take Sean down early and control him in the first few rounds, Sean's not going to be able to put his pace on Dricus the way he would want to, meaning Dricus wouldn't gas out nearly as quickly. Dricus's game plan, in my opinion, is pretty simple. Mask your take takedowns behind your boxing, transition your boxing into takedowns, take Sean down, and if Sean gives up his back, try and submit him, and just capitalize on any opening Sean gets and try and finish him before it gets into the 4th, 5th rounds. And if he can't finish Sean in those first few rounds, then you gotta hope you did enough at the beginning to win a decision. That 3rd round is going to be crucial in this fight. Whereas Sean's game plan is survive the early rounds, put a pace on Dricus, gas him out, and then put it on him in the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds. Sean has to survive the early rounds and dominate the later rounds, and if a finish presents itself, capitalize on that opening. But as an early prediction, I'm gonna go with Dricus, and I'll go by a 3rd round stoppage, either TKO with ground and pound or potentially a rear naked choke. I'll go with a submission. I'll go by a 3rd round submission. Although Sean's takedown defense and grappling defense have looked decent, he was taken down by Abus Magomedov, and Dricus was able to take down Robert Whitaker. So there's no doubt in my mind that Dricus is going to be able to either get into the clinch and trip Sean out or shoot a double leg from distance and take Sean down. And then on the ground, I think Sean will potentially give up his back to try and explode up. Dricus will capitalize on it, and although he might not be able to submit Sean from his back, I think he'll be able to ride out those rounds, those early rounds that are going to be crucial to him. And then because Sean won't be able to put a pace on Dricus, I think Dricus' cardio will look better and he'll win the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. So if he doesn't finish Sean within those rounds, I think he will have enough of a safety net built in to win a decision. But a lot of Dricus' movements, the power punches, the takedowns, are very explosive movements that require a lot of energy. So if Sean is able to defend a bunch of the takedowns early on, put a pace on Dricus off his jab, I think Sean will probably gas Dricus out quicker, and then Sean will absolutely dominate the 4th and 5th rounds. It all comes down to that 3rd round. Does Dricus win that 3rd round, or does Sean win that 3rd round? Because whoever wins that 3rd round probably wins a decision. But is Sean's grappling good enough to survive to the 4th and 5th round? I don't know. That's why I'm gonna go with Dricus right now. This fight is very hard to predict, but that is the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to subscribe. Leave your early predictions in the comments down below. Like the video if you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.